I thought in the first half we made some shots. You know, we had it going a little bit. And then the second half, we got some looks that we normally make. I mean, this is a team that just shot 15% from three. That is not us. But what we have to be able to do is change the kind of shots that we get. Like, let's get some paint touches. I thought their pressure might have forced us out of getting paint touches. There was times when Ashley was coming down the floor and we couldn't even get it to somebody on the side. But that being said, the biggest play of the game was we get possession of the basketball, we got a couple stops, get possession of the basketball, call timeout against the zone. They come out and double team us. Ruddle stays strong, gets it to Durham. She makes a drive into the paint, finds Courtney for a wide open layup. Earlier in the year, some of those double teams were panic, throw it away for us. But today it was control, found it, drove it, found it, layup. And that's big because if a team's going to double you, we should be able to get an easy shot, and we did.
You mentioned like earlier in the year the double throwing it away. It seemed, I mean, you had 17 turnovers today, but it seemed like a lot of them came at, they were getting points off of them, and
yeah, we had a bunch of them in the first half. I think we had 6 in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like, we just had a bunch, and then after that we weren't bad. You know, their length, we can't simulate their length in practice. You try to, but it's very difficult. Sometimes passes that you can normally throw, we can't always throw against them. You put Bent and different people out there, you know, defensively on us, and it's tougher. They're a little bit longer.
And then just one more stat to look at before I go on positive things. I mean, their offensive rebound game, that's
Well,
something.
here's the deal, and I've always said this. If you shoot 32% for a game, 23% in the first half, there's a boatload of offensive rebounds out there to be had. We want to try to get as many of them as we can. They had 25 the other night against Fairfield. They had 19 against us today. We got out-rebounded by 5. Yes, we're out-rebounded, but when you're holding a team to some of those lower percentages, there's a ton of those out there. You know, we'll look at, I think there's a couple mix-ups where they got a couple. We'll look at correct now, but for the most part, I didn't think it was that bad.
Actually, talk about, it seemed, especially later in the game when it was tight, that you guys were able to adjust and you were driving in the paint or getting more paint touches. Can you talk a little about making that adjustment as the game went on when it was more common for you guys?
I mean, like Coach Zeo said, we have great 3-point shooters, so they start to, you know, play a little farther out on us. That means that people can be able to have a little more, kind of like the post can have more one-on-one, so we can throw it into them easier. And me driving, you know, it helps if they stay to them. It makes me get in the paint easier. So.
I mean, because their length obviously caused some problems, especially trying to get into the post. Were you guys able to adjust a little bit to get more paint touches later in the game?
I feel like we just, you know, took what they gave us and went along with that.
And then, you know, when they went zone, and we had worked against that zone because they had played it a bunch. And sometimes when a team doesn't play it the entire game, and then they throw it out there at the very end, it does just step you back a little bit, right? So we step back and, okay, we're trying to take a breath, and what are we going to run? And we wanted to run our little zone offense, but we were so intent on running the offense, and the middle was wide open, and our post players weren't flashing in there, and we could have got it in if they would have just made a flash. And we'll look at that because, okay, we're going to run that offense. Well, they were just spread way out, so we couldn't really run it. But it did get us back on our heels a little bit. That was a good move by them to get it. But it was great that we got a 2-point layup against it when they doubled, which is huge.
You know, when that happens, you know, late in the game, the tight game, late in the game, your team was able to see that. I guess just talk about like the mentality, because it's you know, to not throw that ball away, to make that play late in the game and not make those mistakes.
We're trying to, like we talked about, trying to stay calm, right? Like I knew they were doubling. I'm trying not to get too rattled, because if I get rattled, they're rattled, and then it's just a whole big zoo out there. It's no big secret. We don't feel like we've been playing very well or practicing very well. So to sneak a win out in a game when we're not playing great is big. I mean, it's big. I'm going to tell you right now, nobody wants to play a team that's over. Right? Like, you get that. I'm hoping to God they get one before I don't know when we go back down there, but I don't want to play a team that's over, because they have nothing to lose. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. You know, I think to see Ashley get 6 assists and 2 turnovers is huge. It is gigantic for us, because she can do things that our other guards can't. right? She can make people play and create and get into the paint to get shots for us that our other guards can't. And when she's doing that, it's really, really good for us. I mean, to be 3-1 is huge. And, I mean, she's 9 or 10 assists if we make shots, right? Like, we just didn't make shots today.
You mentioned, I know those for you guys, I'm sure you're playing very well at this moment, to get this out. I mean, would you characterize this as, maybe you don't talk about ugly wins or just getting out with a win? I mean, is it one of those?
Oh, I think it was probably ugly. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of people in that gym going, "Ooh, that got ugly there." But you have to be able to win that way too, right? Okay, it is what it is. It's a 1-point game with however many minutes to go. We got to grind this out. We got to get some stops, some rebounds, and come down the other end and get some scores. And then they did us a huge favor by tipping the out-of-bounds play at the end of the game.